Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for a deep dive that'll warm you right up?
Oh, absolutely. Those stories that remind us, even with everything going on, there's still so much good out there.
Exactly. We've got 10 stories all over the globe just brimming with kindness, and we'll see how these seemingly little acts, well, they end up creating these huge waves of good vibes.
It's incredible, isn't it, how one person's choice to be kind can just ripple out, touching so many others.
It's like that saying, right? Kindness is contagious.
Totally. And when you think about it, so many of these stories, they start with something simple, just a moment where someone chooses to help.
Okay, so first up, we're going straight to the heart of New York City. Picture this.
Yeah.
Subway musician. They're in the middle of a song, really pouring their heart out, and bam, their instrument breaks.
Oh, no. Talk about terrible timing.
Right. It's a nightmare scenario. But here's where it gets amazing. A stranger in the crowd just steps up, no hesitation. Not only buys the musician a new instrument, but then gets everyone on the platform to join in, turns into this massive impromptu concert.
I love that. And you know what strikes me? It goes way beyond just helping that one musician. Suddenly, the whole vibe of that subway platform shifts. Everyone's connected by the shared experience, the music, the generosity.
It's like for a minute, everyone forgets about their own rush, their own worries, and
Ah,
just gets swept up in this wave of positivity.
there's research on this. Witnessing acts of kindness can boost our mood and might even make us more likely to be kind ourselves.
So true, it's like a chain reaction of good deeds. Okay, next up, let's jump across the Atlantic. We're going to a charming little bookstore tucked away somewhere in Italy.
Oh, I love bookstores. So cozy.
Right. Perfect setting for this story. Imagine a sudden downpour, people caught completely off guard, rushing to find shelter. And that's where the bookstore owner becomes the hero. Opens their doors after hours, offers refuge to everyone stranded by the storm.
It's that sense of community you get in local businesses, isn't it? It's more than just transactions. It's about creating a space where people feel welcome, supported.
It's like they created a haven, a warm little bubble amidst the chaos of the storm.
Hmm. Hmm.
All right, ready for a story that'll get your heart racing? We're going to a marathon in Spain. But this one, it's not just about speed. This is where compassion takes center stage.
I'm intrigued.
So picture these runners. They're pushing their limits, focused on the finish line, but then one of them falls. And instead of just running past, other competitors stop. They help the fallen runner up, make sure they both cross that finish line.
Wow. That's what I call true sportsmanship, putting compassion above personal victory. There's actually a term for that feeling you get when you see something like that. It's called elevation. It's that warm, uplifting feeling when you witness an act of extraordinary moral beauty.
It gives you chills, right? Okay, now let's travel to Tokyo for a story that bridges generations. We're meeting a group of volunteers who are teaching English to elderly residents. And the beautiful part is it's not just about the language. They're helping these residents connect with their grandchildren who live overseas.
That's so heartwarming. It shows the power of communication, how it can break down barriers, connect people across generations and cultures. And, studies show those intergenerational connections are so beneficial for both the elderly and the younger generation. Combats loneliness, gives a sense of purpose, builds empathy.
It's proof that kindness can transcend language barriers and age differences. Our next stop is Mumbai, India. This one's about quiet generosity.
Quiet generosity. Tell me more.
So we're in a bustling restaurant, packed with people. The owners notice a family who's clearly struggling to afford their meal. What do? Quietly cover the cost. No fanfare, no expectation of anything in return.
That's beautiful, just doing what's right because it feels good. Research actually suggests that these kinds of small, anonymous acts of kindness can be even more powerful in inspiring others to pay it forward.
It's a reminder that you don't need grand gestures to make a difference. Sometimes, those little acts of kindness have the biggest ripple effect. Okay, now we're heading to Sao Paulo, Brazil, where one man's compassion goes beyond human boundaries.
This sounds interesting.
He's using his own limited resources to feed stray dogs during a harsh winter.
Shows you the interconnectedness of all living beings, right? Compassion knows no species boundaries. And there's this growing movement recognizing how important animal welfare is for a healthy society. Caring for animals reflects our values.
It's like expanding our circle of compassion to include all creatures. Speaking of community, let's go to Toronto. This story happened during a brutal cold snap. Volunteers got together, organized this massive drive to collect and distribute blankets to those experiencing homelessness.
That's collective action in its finest form. Even small contributions when everyone pitches in can create a huge impact. And there's research that shows participating in these kinds of initiatives, it can boost your sense of belonging, even improve mental well-being.
It's amazing how helping others can actually help yourself too, right? All right, get ready for a story that's pure joy. We're in London, and someone decided to brighten everyone's day. They started leaving encouraging notes and little gifts at bus stops all over the city.
Oh, that's so sweet. Those little random acts of kindness, they're so powerful because they're unexpected, they catch you off guard, they interrupt the daily grind and remind you there's still good out there.
It's like a little spark of joy in someone's day.
Hmm.
And positive psychology talks about this thing called positive contagion. Happiness and kindness, they're contagious. They spread from person to person.
Love that. Next up, let's head to Nairobi. There, a group of young people took it upon themselves to clean up a local river. But they didn't stop there. They turned it into this big community event.
It's so inspiring, isn't it? Young people taking charge, addressing environmental challenges, and that sense of community, everyone working together toward a shared goal, it just fills you with hope. It really does. Okay, for our final story, we're traveling to Seoul, South Korea. This one takes place in a hospital. A nurse went above and beyond to comfort a patient who is scared and lonely.
This nurse stayed long after her shift was over, just to keep the patient company, offer a listening ear.
That's true compassion right there, seeing beyond the physical needs, recognizing the emotional needs of a patient. There's more and more research showing how important empathy is in healthcare. It can actually lead to better outcomes, reduce stress for both patients and healthcare workers.
It's a reminder that sometimes the most powerful medicine is simply human connection.
It's amazing, isn't it? All these stories, each one a testament to the power of kindness, compassion, and community. It's like we're all connected by this invisible thread.
It makes you realize that even with all the craziness in the world, there's so much good out there. It's like a web of positivity that spans the globe. So what act of kindness will you choose to create or celebrate today?